Players have contracts that are about to expire. Resign them so you don't lose them to free agency.
Bring your lunch pails, fellas. I need to see that workman attitude today. We gotta get better today. What I want to know is...
Lady! Lady! Let's up! Lady! Lady! Let's up! Lady! Lady!
what really gets me excited? The fact that I know we can get better. You guys have so much room to improve still. That is exciting. Let's go out here and next practice, let's improve. Listen to me. You're a leader. People look to you to set the standard. Today's performance, I wouldn't luck up to it. Now come on, pick it up next time.
You have too many players on your team. Choose which players you want to cut. Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. It's hard to imagine this not being a fun game to watch. It's the Bengals going up against the Buccaneers. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we're about 5 miles northwest of downtown Tampa at beautiful Raymond James Stadium near Florida's Gulf Coast. Just a minute ago, it was Jameis Winston leading his Buccaneers out of the tunnel. They're on their feet here in Tampa as the Bucs get set to match up with Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Buccaneer ball club. It's an early test here after 2 losses to start the season, and a game they probably really need.
Obviously, no way do they want to get to 0-3. Not many teams make the playoffs with that kind of a start.
Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The drive will commence with a run by Mixon, and he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and that'll make it second and a foot or so.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Play clock winding down. Now Dalton. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. First carry for Samaje Perine. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. Faced with their first 3rd down conversion opportunity and able to punch it through and pick it up on the ground.
And to me, doing it on the ground sends a different type of a message than throwing the football. And, you know, let's face it, we've done a lot of games together. How often have we seen 3rd down turn into an automatic passing down no matter what the yardage?
Yeah, and last thing you want, that opening drive to go 3 and out. You got everything scripted, lined up. Let's get some points on the board, and they're able to avoid that 3 and out.
Delay of game, offense.
So offense moving a little too slow there, could not get set, and they get the penalty. Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton on the move to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side, and that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Well, some credit there to A.J. Green because he's so tough to cover. Sometimes he causes those penalties.
He's one of the more difficult guys to cover in the NFL because of his ability to do just about anything on a route. Hard to do. Creates a lot of pass interference calls.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. And that is incomplete. Second down here after the incomplete pass. To throw again. Dalton, throw left side, complete to Ross. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. To throw here, Dalton. And this one's incomplete. And some concerns caused him to slip to the 5th round. I guess if you're him, the good news is you kind of flew under the radar. Maybe expectations are low. You can come in and prove something.
And a lot to prove because those off-field concerns that creep in on you, you want to prove that they're all wrong, that they don't matter, that you are a much better player than what people picture.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
They'll go to Pirine, trying to pound it in. And he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. A great play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. That's just a solid, methodical drive to start this game.
And how about how it culminated? Doing exactly what they wanted to do, getting the ball downfield, and then running it into the end zone. I'm just telling you, partner, when you run it in rather than throw it in, that hurts a defense psychologically a heck of a lot more.
This one fielded at the 5. The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. A gain of 3, second down.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
He's going to wind up and air it out. And that's caught inside the 30. It's a big play. Winston to Evans. 47 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. A good pickup there at 22.
I don't mean to jump in on you, partner, but they didn't waste any time getting downfield, did they? I mean, a nice big play there.
3 plays, 3 successful plays in plus territory. Now this defense on its heels a bit.
It seems like they had something targeted there, doesn't it? It's like, okay, we've got a matchup we like coming right out of the gate. Let's go ahead and get right to it.
Throwing, Winston. Trying to lob it in there, but it's incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And it's second down. So we're going to have a challenge. Remember, last year the tablet was introduced. Most people seem to be...
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. They'll throw again. Winston. A nice little juke. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. It's a gain of 5. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. Jameis to throw it. And that is incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And Suckup will put this one right through, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So it's a 7-play drive, but it stalls out in the end.
Let's credit the defensive front 7. They were a little leaky at the start of the drive, but they stiffened toward the end.
And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So, hey, if your guys can do that for 4 quarters, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it is a team game, so that's just good complementary football. But, you know, I know I'm no brainiac, but you trade 6s for 3s, things are going to work out in your favor.
A first down throw coming for Dalton. This one grabbed by A.J. Green. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards that time, and a Cincinnati first down. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On the toss, Mixon. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Time running out here on the play clock. Snap came at 1. Now here's Dalton. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Meanwhile, on the NFL scoreboard, a game going on in Chicago. And it's the Bears who are off to the early lead. Mitch Trubisky leading the way offensively. They'll need to get the play off quickly. Now they run with Mixon. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Throwing, Dalton. Brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 3rd. The play clock's running down. Passing, it's Dalton. And he is out of bounds, but not before taking this down to the 8. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. That's a matchup maybe they go back to their outer third of the field as this game continues.
Yeah, I think back to my high school coach, John Ford. He used to say when we got big plays early in a game or good plays, he'd always say, foul it away, lad, foul it away, because he'd want to come back to it later in a key situation. They may come back to this one a little more often than that.
Didn't he say laddie or did he say lad?
Yeah, it just depended on what he was feeling at the moment.
Okay, I thought that was the guy you told me about. He used to say laddie a lot.
Laddie, when you heard laddie, he was usually in a pretty good mood. Lad,
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, and it's... Ball spotted at the 4. It's 2nd and goal. Mixon. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. So stuff for no gain on 2nd down brings up a pretty interesting 3rd from this distance.
I'm throwing the ball, and I'm not even thinking about play pass. I'm going to let him know right away I'm throwing it. I'm probably giving my quarterback some room, sprint him out to one side or the other, and give him an opportunity. If it breaks down, he can take off and run for it.
Dalton on 3rd and goal. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Ross Cockrell. Accelerating, and off he goes. 30, past the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. And before the snap here, we've got a timeout by the offense. It's their first of this first half, and they'll get together and talk this one over. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
But I guess that answers the question whether or not they want him throwing it again right away after throwing the pick 6 on the previous drive.
Yeah, not something conservative or underneath. Pretty big shot right there.
Got him right back in the saddle and said, go ahead and sling it, big guy.
And on 2nd and 10 now. Play clock winding down. Another look for Dalton on 2nd and 10. A quick hitter complete. It's Patterson. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackle behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
And the Bengals on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. So out come the Bucs now. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one too.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
Delay of game, offense.
He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Here we go on 1st and 15. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Evans has it left side. It's a solid pickup of 11, and it's 2nd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Coleman now. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
They will run again with Coleman. He doesn't find a ton of space following the display of quick feet down just inside the 45. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And that's why you see a lot of teams that like to play 4-3 defense, especially against teams that run the ball really well, because you count on your defensive front, the tackles and the ends, to eat up the blocking in the offensive line and keep that guy in the middle clean so he can roam through the football and make a tackle. In this case, he introduced himself and said, "Hello, my name is Mike."
A big run there, 29 yards and a 1st.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up 1st downs.
From the red zone now, Winston. Drops it off for Coleman. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Holding, offense.
So that one a hold, right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
They'll try to throw now. Winston. Over the middle, he finds Godwin complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Left side here, that's complete to Godwin. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal. Winston now. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Coleman, his second touchdown on the season, and the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. It's good to make it 17-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
All right, here now a look at A.J. Green. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us.
And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. Noah Spence. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. Quarterback was hit.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. We're just 2 minutes away from sending you to Orlando for Larry Ridley in our EA Sports Halftime Report, so don't forget about that coming up shortly.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a halftime without him, and we thank him for doing the highlights. Let's go get a snack.
Second down, Dalton going deep downfield for Ross. This is caught at the 20. A big play there for Cincinnati. 43 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Andy Dalton looking for the end zone. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
Looks like they wanted to stay in attack mode after breaking off that nice chunk on their first play. They decided to heave it downfield on this one.
Yeah, that first play, though, successful. Try number 2, unsuccessful. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now first and goal.
All right, it's football 101 to know that the quarterback controls just about everything on offense, but a lot of times what gets missed is that the center controls line play. He has to communicate to the guards and the tackles what type of front they're facing, how they're going to block it, and what adjustments need to be made sometimes on the fly as a defense will shift. Give the center a lot of credit because for the most part, he's got big defensive linemen over his face all game long. He's got to try and block and protect his quarterback and create space for his runner. In this case, he did a really nice job of communicating and executing.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. It's second down. Dalton looking. Throw out right, taken in by Patterson. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Cordero Patterson, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Bengals have got it back to a one-score game.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. A first down throw for Winston. Over the middle to Evans. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. On first and 10, Winston. Going underneath, it's Coleman. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be second down. On play action, Winston. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Now Winston. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. On second down, Winston again. Right side caught by Jackson. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He made his first attempt, this from 45. And this one is right down Broadway. And they stretch the lead to 6. It's 20-14 now. So he splits the uprights there, and I would imagine it's nice as a kicker. Right when it leaves your foot, you know it's good.
Yeah, it's kind of like a golfer that picks up his tee after a nice drive without even watching it land.
Solid analogy. I like it. The second quarter score from KC, and the Chiefs have jumped out to an early lead in their ball game. Alex Smith with 2 first-half touchdown passes. The final act of the first half. Dalton going deep downfield for Ross. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. So we've hit halftime here. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. 4 yards remaining now on second down. This is Coleman. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
3rd down and 5. Working out of the gun, Winston. He's got Evans. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
When Mike Evans sees man coverage, I don't think he's the only guy who gets excited. I'll guarantee the guy throwing the ball does, because guess what? He's got a lot of options about where to place it because of Mike Evans' size and frame.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Ten yards still left on 2nd down.
Watch tight. Tight end right. Watch tight. Tight end right. Let's go now. Watch 25. Hey. What is that? 4 down.
Coleman. And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33.
That was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on 1st down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
3rd down now following the run. From the gun, Winston. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
Yeah, they've got an extra defensive back out there now on 3rd and 13. To throw is Winston. Over the middle, complete. It's Evans. And he'll be brought down with the 1st down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it. Jameis
to throw it. And it's caught. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Deshaun Jackson, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball.
Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Tried to roll out, make a play outside of the pocket, but couldn't get it done.
When you don't have a lot of space for your receivers to operate, and down there it's really condensed when you're snapping the ball from the 2-yard line, rolling out, you extend a play.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the 2nd half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
And an alley to run. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And the Bengals on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Dalton now to pass. And Eifert has it. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work, and that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
Time running out here on the play clock. Dalton, 1st and 10. And he whips that one incomplete there. Kenny Golladay is intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Had an open man that time. They ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
3rd and long. What will Dalton dial up? And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, both. You drop the football, that position could get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his 2nd drop of the game. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. Starts with a handoff to Coleman. And now running right through it. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. It's really come into vogue to talk about the different gaps that a defense tries to attack in an offensive line. And most of the time we're talking about blitzes. How many times have you heard double A-gap blitz? Well, where is the A-gap? It's the space between the center and the guards, either side. So when you're having a double A-gap blitz, it's 2 guys coming through that gap. In this situation, though, that A-gap wasn't open for the defense to exploit. The offensive line took care of it, protected it, and moved the defensive guys out of the way to allow for that nice run. 2nd down, Winston. And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. Carl Lawson in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. And that'll be marked down as their first sack of the game.
Well, they had 6 last week, and this offense did its homework, didn't it? Because they saw all that pressure, and they really worked hard to tamp it down and beat it back. And they did a great job in the first half. But now they've gotten their first sack here in the second half. Look out. They'll try to increase the pressure.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Now let's see who this is on.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
roughing the pass here, but Charles, that's a good call. But these days, you know, quarterbacks, they're very protective.
We know how protected they are, and if it's anything borderline, they're going to get the call. But as a defender, that's hard to swallow sometimes because there's so many of these bang-bang plays.
They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. 23 yards on the play.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder, and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League.
That it has. When he has to make that throw on a line, he's got plenty of arm to do it.
And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. A good pickup there of 22.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there. And this is caught by Jackson for a Buccaneer touchdown. Deshaun Jackson. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. And that one makes this a 19-point game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. Green's got it over the middle. And they do get him out of bounds finally, but the damage is done. A big hitter on what proves to be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense.
Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty as a result of that hit there.
Dalton operating in the red zone now. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle 3rd of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Slants are so tough to cover because everything happens so fast. But sometimes it happens too fast for the guy catching the ball because all of his movements have to be quick off the line of scrimmage, and then all of a sudden the ball's right on top of you. And maybe he got a little bit ahead of himself there.
A lot of times coming in with good pace, and he dropped it.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. And it'll be Dalton again. It's complete on the bubble screen. That's Patterson. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. All right, so it's getting late in this one. Now, you could argue that they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but they still face a pretty uphill battle.
Yeah, even with the field goal here, it's going to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns now to get back in it, and that's going to be a tall order against this defense.
And we shift to spotlighting Mike Evans. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well. Some
fancy footwork, but not much room to operate. Just up past the 25 and no further. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Brandon, it's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. What you really want to be is moderato. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Drops it off for Coleman. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So much offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. A 4th quarter score, meanwhile, from Kansas City. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Alex Smith, 3 touchdown passes thus far. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
First and 10 for Dalton. Going deep downfield for Ross. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Another look for Dalton on 2nd and 10. Now he's hit, and Dalton lost the football. And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that. And that's what they've done all game long.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This one taken from the 7. And he'll be stopped just shy of the 25 with a penalty marker down. Here's the call.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Play action here with Dalton. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. Bengals on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 10. Dalton here from the gun. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. I don't know, he had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
No, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know?
Yeah.
Or the mental focus.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true. The offense staying out there. They look prepared to go here on 4th and 10. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Levante David. Coming in from that outside linebacker spot to bury him for a loss of 7. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot. Great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz is just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And he's got a man. It's the tight end, Howard, complete. And they do stop him, but he takes it all the way to the 2. And now a 1st down following that long gain. Now whistles here before the snap. Looked like one of the Bucs may have moved.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
What's tight? Tight end right. What's tight? Tight end right. Ready. Wait.
Here's Winston. Up there, incomplete. The intended target was Chris Godwin. That'll bring up second down. So the incomplete pass brings up second down. To throw, Winston stays on his feet. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Big O.J. Howard, his intended target. And it'll bring up third down.
Well, Brandon, we see why it's a team game there, because there's a sigh of relief that they just released defensively. If he's able to get that one away, that's likely a touchdown. But instead, that pressure from the front got to him and forced the incompletion.
You're right. He had him open, just a split second too late on the release. Third and goal, Winston. This will be caught at about the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. They're able to hold him to 3 there, and that leads to a 4th and goal. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Suckup will put this one right through, and that will make the lead now 26. So put 3 on the board, but from inside the 5. And I know we use this phrase a lot, but that's a big-time win for the defense.
It sure is. You've got the short field behind you, so you can afford to turn up the pressure. And that was a nice sequence there to keep them out of the end zone.
And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Dalton. That was hit, and Dalton lost the football. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Here's Coleman, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. They'll get a couple yards back, but not more than that. They'll be left with 12 yards to go on 3rd down.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Charles, it's one thing to...
You have a big decision to make about one of your players.
you.